You guys might have convinced me that this is coming to Hawkins in the final season. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm talking about a little Stranger Things Season 5 theory that heavily pertains to something we saw in Season 4 and have been theorizing about for 3 whole years. Now, with the new footage we got from the Season 5 date announcement teaser, there have been theories running wild online. A lot of recent comments in my streams, or even in videos or emails, have pointed out that we could see a certain something from Season 4 in Season 5, that being the dragon from Will's painting. Before I dive into my breakdown, my 2 cents on how this could all be possible and if it would work or not, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and comment down below your theories for whether or not we will see a dragon in Season 5 of Stranger Things. You heard that right. And if you want extra content like live streams, videos, or a deep dive into Stranger Things called Stranger Things Rewind, where I'm rewatching every episode, then getting together with my fiance Cam and breaking it all down, you can join my Patreon link down below. That community's growing, we're having lots of fun over there. Consider joining it today. Alright, so I've brought this up in the past, and it's been a popular theory for the past 3 years since Season 4 dropped. The theory is that Will Byers' painting that he gives to Mike in Season 4 is going to come to life in some way, shape, or form in Season 5. Specifically, a dragon will surface as a creature from the Upside Down that the gang will have to take down. And while I'm still personally on the fence about how this would work for the show, I want to break down how it could possibly happen and make sense. So in the new footage we got from Season 5, there's a few indicators that the Upside Down is becoming active again after a period of inactivity. Likely from March of 1986 at the end of Season 4 all the way to fall of 1987 where Season 5 is going to pick up, the Upside Down was dormant. But due to events unknown to us as of right now, it comes back, and along with it, Vecna. A more powerful Vecna, might I add. In the date announcement footage, we see military soldiers gathering around as something glowing red is about to burst up out of the ground. While I believe this to be the return of Vecna himself, marking his first appearance in the right side up, at least in the form of Vecna, there could be more to it than that. Of course, at the end of the footage, we see Will looking up and yelling "run" at the top of his lungs. Again, I expect this to be Will yelling about Vecna's return, or Will foreseeing imminent danger that his friends can't, so he's warning them. But what if the footage we got's leading us all to believe that Will is yelling about the return of Vecna or a Demogorgon, when in reality it's misdirecting us from the emergence of a new creature from the Upside Down, the largest and most dangerous to date? Imagine dragons are coming to Stranger Things. And I'm not talking the band. Since back in 2022 when we first saw Will's painting that he made for Mike, this idea of a 3-headed dragon appearing in the final season has been a hot topic in the fandom, and while I initially found it to be too much for Stranger Things, almost too big in scale and embracing the fantasy side too much, I've slowly started to warm up to the idea. If you look at Will's painting, the 4 main boys are all portrayed as their D&D counterparts. We see Will the Wise, or a sorcerer if you will, aka the Season 4 Episode 5 title, along with Mike, Dustin, and Lucas. They're going to battle against a 3-headed dragon, which in retrospect could have been foreshadowing what's to come. In this shot at the end of the teaser, Will could sense the presence of the dragon emerging from the Upside Down and be warning his friends with this yell. Also in the Season 5 footage, we've seen Mike in the line of fire protecting those around him, being the heart, and he could be shielding them from said dragon. But let's ask the burning question: how the hell could a dragon enter Stranger Things? The connection to the Dungeons and Dragons lore is actually there, so let's take a look. And by the way, I'm no D&D player myself, so if you are, let me know in the comments down below. I want some lore drops. I've done some research, so what I'm about to dive into with the D&D lore specifically, all research that I've done. I'm learning about D&D as I go because I've never played. Also, huge shout out to Marie for actually emailing me her theory about this, one of the many inspirations, including all the comments and live streams and videos for this specific video. One dragon that plays a role in D&D is Tiamat. This is a 5-headed dragon goddess that is a queen and mother of evil dragons. Now, Will's painting portrays a dragon with only 3 heads, but a multi-headed dragon's close enough comparison here in my opinion. And when reading this information on Tiamat, my mind immediately went to Aliens, the second Alien film that came out in 1986. I heard Queen Dragon and I said to myself, how about the Queen from Aliens? We know the Duffers love their 80s movies references. They gotta get them in every single season, and Aliens came out in July of 1986, so if they went this route of having like a Queen of the Dragons, kind of like a Queen of all the Xenomorphs, you know, and Aliens, it could be fitting. It would even make sense canonically in Stranger Things for characters to have seen Aliens because the film would have come out the previous summer, so they could reference it.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Taking it one step further, we've seen this shot of the wall in the teaser footage, a wall in the upside down, and while my working theory is that this wall is some sort of means of transportation between Dimension X to the upside down, it could also just be the border of the upside down that ends where Hawkins ends. Whatever it is, we're gonna find out, but take note of this gooey sack-like structure on the wall. Could this be an egg? I know we're getting a little outlandish, but bear with me. Perhaps a dragon egg? If they want a full send on the alien references, be my guest. This could be the case here, and I could already see someone like Dustin explaining the plot reveal to Steve in aliens terminology.
Thanks, that's great. Really helpful.
Or this could be an egg for the queen dragon herself, with the dragon actually being a creation of Vecna's. He's a powerful character and he's proven to have control over creatures from the upside down, so this could be the case. Could you imagine Vecna riding on a dragon? They'd basically be going full Game of Thrones with it, like when the Night King's riding the dragon, and I don't know if I want to sit here and compare Stranger Things' final season to Game of Thrones' final season, because we all know how that went. And obviously, D&D, Dungeons & Dragons. Dragons is a part of the title. D&D's been referenced endlessly in Stranger Things. It's a pivotal part of every single season, as major villainous characters and plot ideas, concepts are based on those from Dungeons & Dragons. Therefore, there are obviously more dragons in the lore, so what else could Will's painting be referencing? Well, we could have a callback to Season 1 with a Thessal Hydra being the beast that's portrayed in this painting. We know at the end of Season 1, the party are playing D&D, and the major threat is the Thessal Hydra. Mike says something's coming, something angry, hungry for your blood, it's almost here. It roars in anger, Will, your action. Will obviously goes on to cast Fireball and defeat it, but was this all along foreshadowing to the end of Season 5, where Will ultimately gains powers, uses a Fireball spell of sorts, or whatever powers he gains, and is able to take down this threat from the Upside Down in real life? It'd be pretty cool to see if the events of Season 5 unfold and they're mirroring the campaign from Season 1, at least the final moments. They could be a poetic way to wrap up that whole story and tie a bow on the party and their time together playing D&D, with it culminating in a real-world threat. They started playing D&D in Mike Wheeler's basement, and they end facing off against a real-life threat from a campaign they played when they were younger kids. The only thing about the Thessal Hydra is the painting doesn't exactly look like how a Thessal Hydra is portrayed in D&D lore, but the most important thing about this is the painting still portrays the party going up against some sort of mythical beast. Now here's another possibility, and you'll have to hear me out on this one. What if the painting is hinting at the biggest Demogorgon to date? Say one with multiple heads. Well, in D&D lore, there are Demogorgons with more than one head. So could you imagine in Stranger Things an evolved, almost mutated Demogorgon with multiple heads? That would be gnarly. Or taking it one step further here, having some fun with these theories, could you imagine a creation so crude that it's a Demogorgon with Demobat wings, the Demodog's tail, and all the elements of these creatures combined into one giant disgusting beast that they have to take on? That would be wild. But like I said, looking into the D&D lore, something that I'm very, very young and new to, there are tons of dragons out there, but Tiamat is the most powerful, the most feared, and the most likely to be in Season 5. Now, to ask the most important question, would a dragon ruin Stranger Things? Because by far, that would be the most outlandish concept you're asking people to buy into. I know this whole idea of another dimension with the Upside Down is pretty far-fetched. You got Demogorgons, Demodogs, Demobats, Vecna, all this crazy stuff, but would a dragon be too far? Would that be crossing the line? I mean, on the one hand, it would by far be the biggest threat in scale the gang has faced off against. And it fully embraced the mythical monster side of this world as well. So could it lose some fans? Like, how could they realistically defeat a dragon? You know what I'm saying? Well, to counter that, the point I always make is Stranger Things has never been about out-physicaling the main threat. It's about outsmarting the main threat. I'm always more interested to see how our main group of characters create a plan to outsmart the villain and not just sit there and win in a good old-fashioned fist fight. So no matter how strong Vecna himself is, no matter what physical creatures he's assembled to try and destroy Hawkins and rule the world, right? There's more to it than that. It's gonna come down to the brains of all of our main characters to take him down. And dare I say, the power of love? Shout out Back to the Future.
The one with the DeLorean and Alex P. Keaton, and he's trying to bang his mom.
So if Stranger Things 5 wants to bring Will's painting to life, it would make for some of the most epic moments in the show by far, but would it run the risk of being too ridiculous for Stranger Things? Of course it would, but in the Duffers we trust. I've also been saying lately that I want some more callbacks to Season 1 and Season 2 of the party, like the OG kids gearing up for battle. Like I think back to Season 1 when Lucas, Dustin, Mike all get together and they're like packing their backpacks. Then I think of Season 2 when you've got the Byers shot of everyone in the Byers house right before Elle pulls up. I want another moment like that, and if they're going to face off against a damn dragon, it'd be unreal. And if we see everyone pulling up to take on this dragon and Vecna, and whoever the hell else he's got with him, Demogorgons, Demo whatevers, it would require Elle to be at her most powerful and likely will to have gained new physical powers, not just his ability to sense the presence of Vecna. But do you think we're gonna see a dragon from D&D lore make its way into season 5 of Stranger Things? Is Will's painting gonna come to life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below and hit that like button. Of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more Stranger Things videos, but also movie reviews, movie rankings, all that jazz. If you want extra Stranger Things content, you can join the Patreon community linked in the description. Lots of fun stuff happening over there. We got a new episode of Stranger Things Rewind dropping this weekend, talking all about Holly Jolly, one of my personal favorite episodes of the entire show, so it's going to be a fun one. You won't want to miss it, but that'll do it. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the other side of the Upside Down.